They've allowed the black women to take over.
No, they haven't. The reason that
the
reason there are less black men in households is because of mass incarceration.
That's not true.
It is true,
No.
Jesse. The evidence is clear. The data is there.
No.
Just because you say it ain't true, don't make it so.
Absolutely not true.
That's not the evidence is clear.
They're not the head of their household because their mothers have taken away their masculinity and turned them into girls.
That's actually not true either, Jesse.
It's a girly thing to do for a black man to sit around and point his finger at the white man.
Jesse Lee Peterson calls out this insane woke professor who claims he wants to destroy whiteness for acting like a woman to his face in this heated debate, as Jesse Lee Peterson interviews this woke racist professor who wants to guilt trip white Americans into destroying the system because he is, of course, a noble anti-racist scholar. Let's get in.
You want to eliminate whiteness. Is that true?
I want to destroy whiteness, to be more specific, yes.
And what is whiteness, and why do you want to destroy it?
So whiteness is an ideological construct, right? It's an ideology. It's a set of behaviors and beliefs and practices that not only normalize the white way of seeing the world, but the white way of doing society. And so that structure has proven to be violent towards people of color, because it's the norm and standard by which we are judged, which is an inaccurate one. And so I think that needs to be destroyed in order for the liberation of people of color from white supremacy to take place. Now, to be sure, that is not to conflate whiteness with white people, although all white people do benefit from whiteness, and there are people of color and black folks as well who adopt ideological positions that are consistent with white supremacy. And again, that is a disappointment, and it disenfranchises and harms people of color. So I think that ideology and that philosophy needs to be destroyed.
Oh, man. So you believe in destroying whiteness, you will destroy white supremacy. I'm reading here. Is that right?
Yes, white supremacy is the structure.
Why do black people see most blacks, not all, the good ones don't, but why do most black people like yourself see white people as supreme over them?
I think that, again, is a mischaracterization. It's not about individual white people, but a larger system and structure that provides certain sets of unearned privileges and ascribes status to white people and white bodies and those that adopt white ideologies.
I'm not understanding that. And Sarah, make it a little simpler for me and the people who are listening and watching.
Well, let me break it down. Let me break it down like this.
You see white people as supreme over you because
we don't.
You guys have spent 60 years complaining and watching and complaining about white people, where in the good old days when men were men and boys were boys, blacks were not doing that. They went out.
When was this time, Jesse? Please enlighten me and the listeners. When was that time?
Before the civil rights movement.
Really?
Blacks went out. They built their own universities. They bought land. They created businesses.
Some did, but most could not.
All people are not going to do anything.
No, but I'm talking about the system that didn't enable them to do that. All blacks could not get houses.
It's not true that the system didn't enable them to do it. Because even when under Jim Crow laws, and I grew up under the Jim Crow laws in Alabama.
Yeah, as did my father.
And black people were better off then than they are today, in that they were more independent. Black men were not acting like little girls and complaining about the white man. They went out and proved that they were men themselves.
But that's not a uniform.
Just as the Jews have done it, black people did
First off, Jesse,
thing.
Jews have been able to assimilate into whiteness and benefit from whiteness also. So let's be clear about that.
And now you have adult black men looking at white men and just complaining like little girls. What happened? I mean, why do you see white people as supreme over you? Yes, you do.
No,
you just said it here.
No, I didn't. White supremacy is a structural issue. Now, white people, and some white people, not all, some white people do feel that they are superior to black people.
No, you feel that they are.
No, I don't.
They don't feel that way.
No, I don't. We've made it very clear that we don't feel that way.
White people do not feel that way.
You can't speak for all white people. You ain't even white, Jesse.
The blacks who are insecure feel that white people.
That's not true. We're not talking about white people. We are talking about structural racism, Jesse.
You're projecting.
We're not projecting.
Yes, you are.
No, we're talking about systemic racism. You have a beautiful placard here that talks about drinking fountains.
Right.
And so when white folks are legislating where black people can get access to water, that is a structural form of racism.
But even when they had the for colors only drinking fountain, for white only, blacks were still doing better today than they are today, because the men were not sitting around whining like little girls talking about white people holding them back.
Yeah, again, you're going into a different direction. You're conflating a lot of things. So let's disentangle some of this. Okay. When you're talking about black men in particular, you're now saying and suggesting, which again, based on the evidence that you have, is that black men are always the head of the household, and we know that not to be true. We know that we have matrilineal and matriarchal, which means they're headed and run by women.
They were head of the household before they turned their lives over to the Democrats.
All black men were not head of households.
Not
Jesse.
all, most were.
Most were not either.
When I was growing up, most black men were head of their household.
And that's what we call anecdotal evidence.
And now,
Jesse, you are in the case of one. You cannot be representative of all black folks.
Now they are not, because they've allowed the black women to take over.
No, they haven't. The reason that
the
reason there are less black men in households is because of mass incarceration.
That's not true.
It is true,
no.
Jesse. The evidence is clear. The data is there.
No.
Just because you say it ain't true don't make it so.
Absolutely not true.
That's not the evidence is clear.
They are not the head of their household because their mothers have taken away their masculinity and turned them into girls.
That's actually not true either, Jesse.
It's a girly thing to do for a black man to sit around and point his finger at the white man. Why don't you go and build your own thing rather than trying to change USC?
What do you mean?
Why don't you start a black university? If white people are so bad and treating you so badly,
USC,
why don't you do what they did in the good old days where black men were men? Build your own school.
Well, if you know anything about the actual history of historically black colleges and universities, then you would know and understand outside of Tuskegee Institute, where my father went and graduated, or my grandfather went and graduated. Those were started by white abolitionists from the North. Okay, so when you're mischaracterizing it and being ahistoric about what actually happened, then you're setting us on a path that is disingenuous and dishonest.
Have you heard of Tuskegee Institute?
I just mentioned Tuskegee Institute.
That was started by a black man.
I just said that.
Well, I thought you said it started by white people.
No, I said other than Tuskegee Institute,
I didn't hear
which
you
was founded
say
by
Tuskegee.
Booker T.
You're
Washington.
speaking so fast and a whole lot of words.
Well, you got to keep up, Jesse. You on the radio. You got to keep up, baby.
But
I said other than Tuskegee Institute.
You also say that by any and all means, and what do you mean by that?
That's a soundbite.
Are you advocating black on white violence?
What are we talking about, Jesse?
When you said you want to do this,
destroy whiteness by any and all means.
Whiteness by any means. Are you advocating violence?
Well, how are you defining violence, Jesse? You're putting words in my mouth.
What do you mean when you say that?
When I say by any and all means, that means that we must not back down from threats that I've received via email and social media this week. We must not back down from political opposition, from destroying the philosophy and ideology of whiteness, which means you must remain committed, particularly as educators, to making sure that white folks understand their structural and social position, they understand white supremacy, and they understand that there is an obligation for them. Supremacy. We're not going to debate this, Jesse. That they need to understand that they have a role to play in dismantling that ideology that puts them in their own minds and in the white imagination ahead of people of color.
Amazing.
Let me know what you think down below, but I'm with Jesse Lee Peterson. I think this guy is just projecting. I mean, he wants to talk about whiteness. How would that come out? What would happen if the roles were switched and it was a white guy who is saying, I want to destroy blackness. I want to destroy black culture. Like, we know exactly what would happen to that person if he would just come out and utterly say that. But now we're starting to see that as, black fatigue that's spreading around YouTube and all that. But it's always interesting how you can be so open about, I want to destroy whiteness because it's all bad. But if someone wants to criticize or even question something, say about black culture, then you're a racist and this and that. But never mind the kids getting shot. Never mind all the drugs. Never mind all the problems. It's like, no one's trying to hurt anybody. We're trying to fix the problem, but you have to be able to criticize it first. But that's racist and evil, but you can come out and say, I want to destroy whiteness. Like, it is a double standard, absolutely. But hit that like button if you're enjoying the video. It really helps the algorithm. I appreciate it, and let's get back in.
Do you realize you're fighting an illusion? That what you're fighting
I'm not fighting an illusion. I deal with it every
real.
day. I confront it every day. People of color confront it every day.
How do you know what white people are imagining?
Because we talk to them, Jesse.
And what do they tell you?
Oh, they tell us all kinds of things. When we do these studies, we talk to hundreds of students across colleges and universities all across the country.
And they tell you what?
They tell us a lot of different things. So the first thing that they tell us is they mischaracterize the extent to which they feel people of color are having a positive or equitable experience at their college or university, which is clearly refuted by the hundreds of students of color who tell us otherwise. All right.
How so when we're talking about you're not making that up? That's because liberals tend to lie. They don't tell the truth.
Yeah, but,
How do we
but
know
a
you're not making
liberal
that
is
up?
one thing, and that's what you're labeling me. I'm a scholar. Okay, I've spent a decade studying and engaged in rigorous research on this particular topic. I've talked to thousands of people about this. I've conducted surveys on this. And so we're not going to reduce what it is that I do as a profession in the same way that you have a profession here as to a matter of a public opinion.
But how
That
do
is
you
not
know
the case. It is
that it's
empirical
not-
evidence.
How do you know that it's not blacks imagining this so-called racism?
Because blacks did not imagine what happened to Tamir Rice when he's gunned down as a 12-year-old playing with the toy gun, where a white boy playing with the toy gun would not even remotely have to deal with the same set of
Well,
circumstances.
that's a black guy in Ohio who took the orange tube, little
This is a
tube ball
12-year-old
to
boy.
indicate that it was a
No, this is a
BB
12-year-old
gun,
boy in
and
a
they thought it was
playground.
a real gun.
This is
And
a
that's the same
12-year-old
guy.
boy in a playground. Jesse.
That's the one with the BB gun.
Okay, black folks ain't imagining Trayvon Martin getting
Well,
gunned down in
that-
a community to which he belongs. These are not imagined things.
Was
These
that
are
the
actual
one with the BB gun? I'm asking.
Excuse me?
Was that the guy with the BB gun?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he had a BB gun.
No,
but
he had a
taken
toy
off-
gun. He had a toy
taken
gun.
off the
This is
orange
also talking
little
about John Crawford in
tab.
Ohio,
He had
who was
taken
gunned down
off
in a
the,
Walmart.
You mentioned this guy, John Crawford. He had a realistic looking gun that he wouldn't put down, and apparently it was an unfortunate mistake. But does that count that he has a realistic looking gun?
No, he's in a store in the section that's selling toy guns, and also sells real guns where you're actually able to be in an open carry state where you're allowed to be in possession of a firearm.
Does it matter that he would not put it down?
No.
Oh, okay. So let me ask, Antifa, you heard of them, right?
I have heard of them.
Those cowards who dresses in black, they hide their faces, and they go out and attack the alt-right. They go out and attack good people.
Oh, like the Klan.
And the last one,
Like the Klan.
the one that comes to mind is in Charlottesville, Virginia. They had a permit, the alt-right had a permit to hold a rally there. The Antifa, this group, just hateful, evil cowards showed up and attacked the alt-right.
Oh, is that the narrative?
Was that right for them to do that?
Is that the narrative?
Was it right for them to do that? For Antifa to show up and do that?
I think the better question was it right for white supremacists and white nationalists to convene and to engage in violent acts against the citizens of Charlottesville? That's the better
I'm telling
question,
you
Jesse.
what happened. I'm asking you
Jesse,
a
were you
question.
there?
I'm asking
Were you
you a
there?
question. Was that right for them to do that?
It was right for them to defend themselves and defend others.
So
Yes.
it was right for violent.
No, I said what I said, Jesse. I said what I said.
Is it right for violent,
It is right to defend oneself against
cowardly
violence.
group dressed in
Cowardly
black,
is a mischaracterization.
hiding their faces? If they're brave
Jesse,
men
if you're so
and
worried
women,
about people hiding their faces, then talk about the white nationalists and the Klan that's been hiding under
why-
sheets for hundreds of years.
That's cowardly too for the Klan.
Well, then
to do
just
that
say
as
it.
well.
Say it.
So that is cowardly. If you are fighting for a just cause, you don't need to hide
So
your face.
you're suggesting the alt-right is fighting for a just cause?
I don't know what I'm talking to them now and learning more about them. But what I'm saying is, I notice that people like you don't ever mention these cowardly people dressed in black interfering with the right of freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech
when
and hate speech
people
aren't the same
who
thing,
don't
Jesse.
go out, they are the ones who are hateful.
Jesse, people were killed and injured in Charlottesville as a result of the presence of white supremacy.
That's not true.
That is true.
No.
It's documented.
They were killed because
No,
they
you
were
can rationalize
attacked
however you want to.
because
White
the
supremacists
evil-
drove a car through a crowd of
the
peaceful
evil
protesters engaged in civil nonviolence.
Not true.
Civil disobedience and
Had
nonviolence.
Antifa not shown up,
That's not true.
the
If Antifa
riots
not shown up, there might have been
would
more
not
violence.
have happened. Not true. Absolutely not true.
That's speculation on your
you're
part,
making
Jesse.
it. No. It would not have happened. Are you a man? I know you're a male. Are you a man?
Based on your definition?
You don't know my definition.
Well,
I'm
asking because you're asking me the question.
I'm
Jesse.
asking
What is
you-
your definition of a man?
No. Are you a man?
Yes.
And what is a man
To who?
to you?
To me, being a man or being a woman, other than how one performs their gender and performs in a way that's considered to be socially acceptable, right, is fundamentally about being a good human being. So I don't find that there is a distinguishing nature between men and women on a human level. Okay, I'm a man because I identify in the way that society has governed us to think about manhood in particular ways, right? My performance is such. I am wearing a suit with pants, right? I speak with whatever considered appropriate amount of bass in my voice, right? And I engage in the world in a way that is considered to be acceptable as a man. But that doesn't mean that I should be the standard by which any men or those identifying as men should be judged.
Do men and women have different roles in life?
No, inherently, I don't think so. No,
Amazing.
no.
That is so
Anything
amazing.
men can do, women
That
have
is
done and continue
mind-blowing
to do.
me. Are you a Christian?
No.
You're not a Christian. Do you believe in God?
I believe in a higher power.
Do you believe in God?
Well, who's God?
Do you believe in God?
Who's God, Jesse?
I'm asking you a simple question. Yes
it's not
or no?
a simple question. Who's God?
Yes or no?
I said I believe in a higher power.
What is a higher power? What does that mean?
That there is something else governing the way that we engage in this universe.
Like what?
A higher power. You may call that God. It may be called Allah in Islam. It may be called
what do you call
a number of things. I just call it a higher power, Jesse.
Amazing.
And folks, this is what you get when you pay $100,000 to go to woke university. You end up brainwashed into believing fake constructs. The violent people are good. The terrorists are your friends. And you can't tell what a man or a woman is. And meanwhile, I 100% agree with Jesse Lee Peterson in that all these people really do is sit around, complain, and destroy. They don't build anything. They don't create anything. They don't improve anything. They just want to tear it all down. But thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought about what Jesse Lee Peterson had to say, calling out this insane woke racist in this clip. Thanks again, like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.